Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode of Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up, doing well, got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So, got some fire for you guys today. I was really trying to get all my little stuff done before I head up to the academy and work out and teach class. And I really wanted to get this out to you. So, I had a student of mine send me a video last night on Instagram. I think the channel is like the Workaholics or something like that. Anyways, it's a short little clip, and I just been playing it over and over and over again, and just looping it back over for the last like hour or whatever, as I'm kind of like doing my little chores here and cleaning up. It's a little video of Kobe Bryant, and he's talking about it's just a real short clip of him talking about like him running on the track and the self-talk that goes through your mind, the good and the bad. And he's talking about like, man, my knee's really sore, my lungs are burning, man, am I doing too much? Maybe I should take it easy. Maybe I just, shut it down, and I'll do 2 extra sets tomorrow to kind of make up for today. I'm not really going to finish my workout. I'm going to cut it short, and I'll just do extra tomorrow. And he says, that's really dangerous. That's a dangerous place to be in your mind. And he goes on to talk about like telling himself, like self-talk, like, you know what, I set this workout program at the beginning of summer. I'm not negotiating with myself. I made a deal with myself. The deal was already made. And what I like the most, what he really said about this, he says, I signed the contract with myself, okay? And I'm doing it. And those were his exact words. I signed the contract with myself, and I'm doing it, And I bring this up, well, lately for the last couple of weeks, I've been talking to like, a good friend of mine that trains jiu-jitsu, has his own academy like mine, and kind of been going through the same things. And it has a lot to do with like how much you put into your students, like as a coach, the time and effort that we dedicate to trying to help students like lose weight, just get healthier, the kids dealing with bullying and the self-esteem and self-confidence and that whole thing. And, you help, like you really want to, like, to do this job, you have to be like a people person and like really want to be like selfless and like see people succeed. And when you're in this position that we're in and you give so much to your students and they cancel the contract with themselves, okay? They're canceling the contract with themselves first before they do like with the academy, like with something that they signed with us. You put all that work, time, and effort into someone, and then just out of nowhere, because of their feelings of, again, like, oh, well, my knee is sore, my lungs are burning, that kind of thing, they quit and they stop coming. They're skipping class, and it becomes a habit. And now we're not seeing them at all. And it's demoralizing. Like it's hard to watch. And someone like me that's been an instructor, coach, having my academy for over 14 years, I've seen thousands of people like come and go, and just watch people cancel the contracts with themselves. And that's tough. And I really can't relate to that because like I've been doing jiu-jitsu for over 20 years, since mid-90s or whatever. And I'm very passionate about that. But let's just take that out of the equation. Let's just take my health, okay? Passionate about my health too. But like I signed a contract with myself, not only with jiu-jitsu, but like with my health and my finances and like all the other things that I do a long time ago. And there's no negotiating with it. Like today's a lifting day, Tuesday, Thursday. 365 days a year, man. Like, it doesn't matter what season it is, what holiday it is. Like, if it falls on a Tuesday, Thursday, I got to get a workout in. If it falls on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I got to get my 3-mile run in. Those are non-negotiables. Like, those are just deals that I made with myself many, many years ago. That's my program. That's my schedule. and I'm not going to cancel the contract with myself. It's just not going to happen. Even when we go on vacation, and it's whatever day that is, it's just whatever day that is. You know, I'm gonna run, or I'm gonna find something to do, some type of workout in, and then I'll go and relax on the beach or do whatever that whatever the vacation, whatever we're doing, you know. But I guess it's tough because I guess more now than ever I see more people doing this with themselves, like canceling the contract with themselves. Like they're not following through, they're not finishing, you know, with what it is they said that they were going to do. Whether you know, they signed up for 6 months, they signed up for a year. You know, the minute that something else comes into their life that's kind of a distraction, you know, they'll veer off path and they'll start doing something else. Or I'll give you a couple examples. Like I had a student that came back last night, one of my blue belts, great young man, like really tough. Like he's a great addition to the team. And, you know, he got into weightlifting and some other stuff, and he took a couple of years off. He's been gone for a little while. And he just out of the blue messaged me the other day. He's like, hey, coach, I'm ready to come back. And I'm like, cool, let's do it. And, you know, when people message, I get those messages all the time. And it's like, well, are they really going to come back? Well, he actually did. He showed up the next day. We got him all set up. He's back on the mat. He was training last night. And it was great to see him. He's a great, great addition to the team. And we're so much better because of him. And because of people like that, right? Because his work ethic is really good. Once he was on the mat and training, he's a beast. He's fun to train with because he's very challenging. And then we had, like, I'll give you like another example. I've had so like that was tough to watch someone like that leave, like that has that much skill, talent, work ethic, and then just disappear. And then I had another student I came down kind of hard on a couple weeks ago because they lost a tournament, actually 2 tournaments, and it didn't really work out the way they planned. Even though they did all the things right, they're doing all the things right, it just still didn't work out their way. They started to disappear. So, you know, I do the whole milk carton thing, and I kind of put them on blast a little bit, like, hey, where you're at, you know, where you been. Again, they're canceling the contract with themselves. They said they were going to do something, they were going to commit to something, and because they lost the tournament, they were canceling that agreement with themselves. And again, that's tough to watch because you can't define yourself by 1 or 2 tournaments. Like, it takes time to like get good at that thing. You get to be seasoned, to be experienced, to learn how to win out there. It's not just like how good your jiu-jitsu is. It's like how your decision-making process once you're out there, you know, just knowing how to win. It's not always the best guy. It's just who's the more experienced and the smartest individual will win those matches. So again, it's tough to watch. I put a lot of time and effort into these 2 individuals, and these are just 2. I mean, again, there's just so many that I can just go down the list. I'll be here. I'll never leave this podcast, right? I'll never leave this video. If I was to just go down the line and think about all the individuals that I've worked with that came in and just quit on themselves, basically, you know, and the team and me and everyone else, like you know, we all lose out. Like, people don't realize, like, kind of like a selfish act that is when you quit on yourself, you know, and then all the people that helped you get to where you got, you just kind of quit on them as well. And it kind of has a trickle-down effect, and it affects everything. It affects everyone, affects the whole team. So for whatever reason, you know, I just see a lot of that lately, where just a lot of people just aren't following through what it is that they basically signed on the dotted line with themselves, that they were going to do this workout, this run, eat this way, you know, go to bed earlier, fix their finances, you know, get their budget right, like, you know, get out of debt, like all these things that people commit to and basically sign a contract with themselves and then cancel and break those contracts, you know. Unfortunately, when you like break the contract or agreement with yourself, there's really no like cancellation fee that you're going to pay out of pocket. You're just going to pay in other ways, like putting on extra weight that you don't want, you know, like doing something like jiu-jitsu where you eventually you'll come back, because most people do. They'll come back at some point or another, but you fall behind. Like, just think, if you take a year or 2 off, how much better you would be if you just would have stuck with it for a year, the year or 2 that you were thinking of, or that you took that time off. How much better your game would be, how much better the team would be, how much better everything would be if you fixed your finances when you said you were going to fix your finances and get your budget and all your money in order. just become, financially stable, those kind of things. So everything like you do has a, repercussion to it. It's just you might not see it right at that moment, but later on you will. You'll see it at some point or another. When you make a deal with yourself, you negotiate with yourself, and then you break that agreement with yourself. Okay, there's a price to pay at some point. Whether maybe not right now, but somewhere down the line, you are going to kick yourself in the butt, and just why did I do that? Why did I take so long? Why did I just follow through? And look how much further I would be if I just would have stuck with it. And I see this all the time. I talk to people all the time. This is what I do. I just hear these kind of things all the time. And to come across this video that one of my students, one of my black belts, shared with me last night, it just fits to what I've been talking to my students about. Again, putting so much time and effort into people, because we were talking about I asked a student the other day, he works at this restaurant, and I'm like, when you clock out of that restaurant, do you still think about that restaurant when you leave? And he just looked at me and was and chuckled, laughed, no, I don't think about that place whatsoever once I walk out those doors. Well, that's not us. That's just not what we do. As a coach, as a jiu-jitsu instructor, we're so involved with our students, at least the good ones are, individuals, coaches like myself, that put so much time and effort that once we walk out the academy doors at night, it doesn't leave, it doesn't stay in the academy. It comes home with me. It comes home with how can I help so-and-so better? How can I fix this? Or how can I fix that? How can I help these guys or these girls, these ladies, or these kids, work, how can we just make things better for them so they're not struggling so much on the mat? So there's always these things of or let's talk about dealing with, things that happen to our students, to my students, personally, what's, someone passed away, they lost a loved one, they lost a job, they lost, just anything that just isn't good, and they share those things with me. So I bring those home, that stuff that I go, man, that sucks, man. So-and-so, mom passed away or dad passed away or they're, someone close to him passed away or this happened to him. And you come home at night and you're still thinking about that stuff. So this isn't a job where it's like a restaurant job, like my student, he's not thinking about that. When I left General Motors, when I worked for General Motors, when I swiped my badge through that turnstile and I clocked out, I'm man, and it was a Friday, I'm not thinking about that place until I have to come back to work on Monday. But that's not jiu-jitsu. That's not the way jiu-jitsu works. So when you see certain individuals that you put so much time into cancel and break the agreement with themselves, it's hard to watch, because I've seen so many people get so far and do so good and get so much healthier and so much better, and then they break that agreement with themselves and then they fall all the way behind, and it's even worse than it was before. I don't know how many people I've walked into I don't know, the mall, Walmart, restaurant somewhere, and I run into them, hey, and you recognize them, you haven't seen them in a while, and one of the first things people do is they, without me saying anything, I'm not looking at them in a certain way, I'm looking at their eyes, and one of the first things they do is they put their hand on their stomach. And it's oh, coach, man, I just, I got to get back to the academy. I got to get back in there. I let myself go. I put on some weight. And my first reaction was man, it's all good. Just get back in there, man. We'll help you get back to where you're at and even better. But that's not even my first thought. It's just their first thought. They know they're not doing as good as they were when they were training jiu-jitsu, or just whatever it is that you want to put that in context with. Whatever you quit on, it's just not going to be as good as it was before you quit on it. It was something that you made a deal with yourself with. Again, finances, especially if you do that. If you break an agreement with yourself and you just let your finances go and you're in debt and you got people calling you and they want their money, and it's just not good. It puts a burden on you and your family and everyone else, and it's don't do that. But people do it. I don't know why. So there's so many things that I made contracts and agreements with myself with that I just don't break, and my family can attest to this. They just know, Like, for instance, I was out of town over the weekend, last weekend, competing in Indianapolis, and I had some family members come over and watch, my dogs for me. And my nephew came over, and I was doing some yard work at my daughter's house the other day, and he was out there just talking to me, and I just kind of brought that up, like what I was doing for my daughter's house, the mulch and fertilizing the front yard, and just kind of new little spring flag in the front yard. And I was trying to tell him, I was like, this is the way it should be, because he's got an apartment. I'm like, you get your own place, man. Even with an apartment, it should be clean, it should be nice, it should be on point. Like, it doesn't matter, like, you don't know when people are going to stop over in your house. You shouldn't have to, like, hold on a second, give me 10 minutes, I'll let you in. Let me run around the house real quick and throw stuff in the closet and underneath the bed. Let me just shuffle some things around and make it look nice. It should be that way. So when I went out of town, I didn't know he was going to come over. He came over, and I was like, what did you think about the house, man? He's like, man, it was clean. Like, it was like very clean. It was like show style, like to look like if I was going to sell the home. That's the way I leave it. Like, that's the way it looks right now when I'm getting ready to walk out this door to go up to the school. That's the way it looks. This is what I do every morning. And I was just trying to tell him, that's the way it should be. Basically what I'm saying is, I made that agreement with myself a long time ago. Like, this is the way my house is going to look. This is the way my yard's going to look. I already went out there this morning. I put some fertilizer and food for all the plants and the trees and everything, because everything's about to start to grow back, and did all this yard work on Sunday, and it's ready. It's ready for the spring. It's prepped. It's ready for it to look nice. I mean, it sucks. Like, sometimes it's just like, I don't want to do that stuff. Like Kobe's talking about, like, man, my knees sore, my lungs are burning. Like, the negotiating with yourself, trying to talk yourself out of things, and then you do that. It's whatever you cancel, period. It's just not good for you. All right, guys, this is what I'm getting at. So watching this video with Kobe just really hit home, because I made agreements with myself. Watching videos like I was watching, it helps me keep those agreements to myself. And then thinking about so many students that canceled agreements with themselves, cancel their own contracts. It's tough. It's tough to watch. It's tough to watch because, again, I put so much into my students, and it just doesn't stop when I lock the doors at night. I bring that stuff home, and I'm thinking about, like, how are they doing? I hope they would come back so we can continue helping them, do good. And if you're going to leave jiu-jitsu for something else to do good, then by all means get after it. But if you're not, like, you're leaving jiu-jitsu or you're quitting something that you're supposed to be doing to do nothing, man, that's tough. Like, that's tough to watch, because you know darn well, like, that's not going to get you anywhere. So anyways, stop canceling and breaking agreements that you've made with yourself. Keep those deals you made. Be like Kobe, and get after it. All right, guys, you have a great day. We'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you.